I have to admit, having watched Jonathan last week, I was looking forward to filming in the Minster, sat in one of the oldest elements of the building, the stone presidential chair. Instead, I'm sat here in my lounge on a much comfier but much less significant sofa. However, my disappointment pales into insignificance compared to those who had planned weddings, birthdays, anniversaries or holidays for the coming weeks and months. I spoke to a friend last night who was due to take her mum and son to New York as a special once-in-a-lifetime trip. Her mum's now socially isolated and she continues to teach, enabling other key workers to stay on the front line. We are living in unprecedented times when everyone's story has been interrupted, plans abandoned, and new rhythms are beginning to emerge. Rhythms of once-a-day exercise, queuing to shop, or depending on others to shop, of seeing people on a screen instead of in real life, contemplating several months without our usual meetings with friends and family. The news brings fresh stories each day of those around our globe who are suffering and dying from COVID-19, and many are living in fear for themselves or their loved ones. Our Gospel reading today marks the start of a time in the Christian calendar known as Passiontide, the start of sharing Jesus' journey towards the cross. It was a time when many people, like Martha and Mary, are deeply disappointed with Jesus. People had hoped for an escape from pain and misery, release from the brutal Roman occupation, a chance for freedom and power. Lord, if you'd been here, my brother would not have died. How many times have we cried out to God, "Where are you?" in times of great pain or suffering? When we look at the images on our screen or contemplate the spread of the coronavirus in refugee camps or overcrowded communities already trapped in poverty. If only you had been here, Jesus. Surely it would be different. Passiontide reminds us that Jesus has been there. He is here now. When Jesus saw her weeping, he was greatly disturbed in spirit and deeply moved. Jesus began to weep. At the point of sickness, death, grief, disappointment, confusion, or anger, Jesus is there with us, broken with us, deeply moved, present in all our emotions, not rushing to provide answers to impossible questions, his tears joining with ours. Of course, the story of Lazarus doesn't end there. Our story doesn't end here, but we can't rush to Easter or resurrection. We can't bypass the road to Calvary, the pain of Gethsemane, the agony of the cross. The hymn that Robert recorded for this Sunday reflects this painful Lenten journey, ending with the beautiful words, "Keep, O keep us, Saviour dear, ever constant by thy side, that with thee we may appear at the eternal Eastertide." We may have to wait a long time for Easter to be fully celebrated this year, but let us be people who daily celebrate the eternal Eastertide, the assurance that Jesus is with us at all times, in all places and all situations. May we cling to hope and offer that hope as we are able, through a phone call, a letter, or internet communication, or perhaps by continuing our daily work, albeit remotely, caring for children, the elderly, the sick animals, running our businesses or serving in the food industry, the emergency services, or the provision of essential supplies. Let us sit with others in their grief and pain and allow them to do the same for us. Let us be people who stay at home and follow the advice of our leaders. Let us, above all, be people who weep and pray, knowing that Jesus is right by our side. Amen.